no wash shit corner, I'm afraid, because I'm down at Kington. And it started off a bit wet, dank and miserable, but by the time I'd reached Crossgates, the sun had come out. So, let's grab some breakfast. As caffs go, Crossgates ain't too bad. But what does let it down, and seriously lets it down, is the state of the toilets. There's a lot of people at the caff. It's also a service station, and the ladies' toilets are all out of order. The gents' toilets are all out of order, and with the unisex toilets there is only one that's working. So guess what? We didn't bother with the toilets at this caff. Just 8 miles down the road is the Eland Valley Visitor Centre, where I grabbed another cuppa and used their rather immaculate toilets. So there you go. Seeing as I'm in the area, it would be rude not to ride around the dams, especially this time of year. And yep, the sun's coming out. It's just burning that little bit of cloud off now that's in the trees. So I'm heading next for Capelbanga on the A44. But like I said, we're taking the scenic route around the dams. And once again, I make no apologies for leaving the camera running on this road. It's a nice, mild, sunny autumn day. The scenery is excellent. There's hardly a breath of wind. So, what's better than riding around the dams on a day like this? What did surprise me was, despite all the rain we had over last weekend and the week before, none of the dams were full to capacity. Now I thought all 3 of them would have been overflowing, but no, they were down quite a bit. And just round the corner are the woolly speed bumps. Okay, I think the best thing is get in front of them as quick as possible. Sorry sheepy, but there you go. Get out the way now. And a little bit further on down the road, I stopped to take a photograph of one of the locals. As I climb up to the start of the Aberystwyth Mountain Road, I had to dodge another woolly speed bump. It is a bit of a steep climb up here, but as you reach the top, spread out over on the left is the road that goes all the way now down to Devil's Bridge. And once again, it's one of those roads that's a joy to ride. So that's what I'm going to do. And it's down through Cymystwyth and what used to be the old lead mines. I always find this a particularly creepy place for some reason. Maybe it's just me. And there's the arch that used to mark the entrance to the Havard estate. It was built in 1810 to commemorate the Golden Jubilee of King George III. And up until recently, the road actually used to run underneath the arch. And a little bit further down the road, we come to Devil's Bridge. And here we are, the first petrol pump of the day at Fenner's Garage at Capelbanga on the A44. I pulled up and asked the fellow there if it was alright to take a few photographs. He had no problem with that, and then he showed me another 2 fuel pumps that he'd got. And so that's the first one there, and hiding behind the garage door there is yet another one. And there is what used to be a hand cranked paraffin pump. So we spent a few minutes discussing the finer points of vintage fuel pumps, and then time to press on. Just this side of Aberystwyth, time to fill up. There's 131 miles on the clock, and I managed to get 9.18 litres, which in real money is 2.02 gallon. So the A65 was doing 49 to the gallon. I can live with that. And we're back onto the narrow roads, only the width of one vehicle. Luckily the A65 is fairly narrow. I hope, as they say around my way, it's a man with an os, leading an os. So the best thing to do, I reckon, is turn the engine off, let them walk past, because I've got all day. We'll give them time to get a bit further down the road before starting off again. Yeah, I reckon that should do it. I think there's room to wiggle past the tractor. And there is. Gorsgoch, and time to look for yet another fuel pump. I just know it's here somewhere. All I need to do now is find it. It looks like there's something just there in that garden behind the sheeting. I'll come back to that and have another look. And just opposite that black van is what I'm looking for. Although I've got to be honest, I did miss them the first time. It wasn't until I turned around and had another look. Yep, there they are. Although once again the sun is in exactly the wrong position. I don't really like being double parked opposite this van, so I'd best pull my finger out and get a quick photograph. One photograph later, I'm going to head back down the road and see what was in that garden, because to me it looked like another old fuel pump. Right, let's park up and have a look. I wandered a bit closer to get a better photograph, but alas, when I got home and took a look, although in this photograph it looks promising, but when I enlarged the photograph and took a closer look, it appears it's an actual digital fuel pump. Oh well, never mind. And coming down into Lampeter, I thought I spotted another old fuel pump at this here garage. So once again we did the turnaround thing, and just to be polite, we'll ask permission if we can take a photograph next to the fuel pump. Not a problem. But despite it looking an old fuel pump, it was in fact a fairly modern one with a digital display. Ah well, better luck next time. And a little further down the road in Pump Saint, where the B4302 joins the A482, I spotted another likely candidate, and this one looked a bit more promising. Once again, quick trip over the road and a photograph. And I'm sure that building on the left there, which is now called the Hafford Bridge House, I'm pretty sure that was the Hafford Bridge pub many years ago. And yeah, once again, off camp there. Llanwrda, and my last fuel pump of the day. Once again, photograph time, but you can't really make out the fuel pump that's in the extreme right hand window. Just about see it there. Around 3 o'clock, so time for dinner, and soon as I was just around the corner from the Owl's Nest Cafe, that's where I went. One bacon baguette, and it went down a treat. Heading back to Kington in the late afternoon sun, which after tomorrow will be an hour later, but still, this is riding for the sheer enjoyment of it. And when all's said and done, do you need any other excuse? Tea time, and back at the Royal Oak in Kington, where it's time for a cuppa, and have a rest for a bit, and then it'll be the bonfire at fireworks down the road, and I dare say I'll spend the rest of the night sitting in the oak. Sunday morning, time to head home, and I turn off the A49 to take a more direct route across to Clee Hill and hopefully breakfast at the Cabin Cafe. I spotted what I thought were a flock of sheep up in front, so I pulled over. But no, if you look at that, it's the local foxhounds. And the less said about that, the better. And as I said earlier, time for breakfast at the cabin. I met up with Andy at the cabin. He'd been over the National Motorcycle Museum for their open day. So, as per usual, following breakfast, it's coffee and cake at Daniel's Mill. Sometimes you just get a feeling by the way a car's being driven that you need to keep an eye out. And that one in the right hand lane, the way it had been driving, something just said stay well back. And I was right. We'll just let you get in front, mate, where we keep an eye on you. And just by the branch, it's another couple of Aussies. So once again, the other sensible thing, stop, turn the engine off, let them get past, give them a bit of time to get out of earshot, and then carry on our merry way. And just to prove it wasn't a fluke, there's another cyclist using the new cycle path. Wonders will never cease. And as we round Oshie Corner, it ain't been a bad weekend. There's just over 300 mile on the clock, most of which was in dry weather. Okay, the state of the roads were a bit muddy, and the A65 is going to need a damn good clean. It was an enjoyable weekend. There's quite a few lads and lasses from the Toads and Dog Ends Club down there. So all in all, I'd say good. So until the next time, see you later.